It looks like we are live. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to, I believe this is the 7th live stream we've done for the Mads. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is it's going to be such a great night. Real quick up top, I just wanted to mention that the official hashtag for tonight is hashtag the Mads are back. So use that hashtag when you post about the show anywhere on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. At the end of the night, we're going to announce the details of our next live stream, and I'm going to pick a few winners who will get tickets to that show. So, so tweet your heart out for that. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. And also, real quick up top, I just wanted to give a shout out to Chuck Pennington, who did he really helped us out putting these videos together and making sure that they all looked and sound perfect. So thank you so much, Chuck. You're a lifesaver. Without further ado, I want to bring out the Mads themselves. Let's give a big round of applause from your homes for Frank Conniff and Trace Beaulieu.
Hey, hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
You look beautiful.
You guys make
from
it
what
back.
I've heard.
You guys make it back safely from DC. You weren't on any no-fly lists or anything.
I was at a different convention. I missed the DC thing. I guess something happened. I don't know.
I heard something. There was some kind of scuffle or something. How are you guys?
DC Comics. I was protesting.
Wonder Woman. You're protesting.
I'm on your fly is open list.
You know, that happened to me in the TSA line.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's ushering me through, and he said, "Sir, your fly is open." And I went, full disclosure.
It's nice when they tell you, though. I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
Here, let me help you with that.
So you guys doing well? You're Frank, you're in New York. Trace,
I'm in New York, and people were asking about Millie. Millie is fine. My cat, she's right over there. People wanted to see Millie, but if I picked her up and brought her over here to show to you, it would be a traumatic experience for her. She would hate it. So just know that she's right over there, sitting peacefully, doing good. Maybe one day she'll wander by, but I think she's not into show business, you know.
Yeah.
And Chris, your cat had an ear infection?
Yeah, Yoda, my little baby Yoda had an ear infection. She's doing well though. She's recovering. They're all at war with each other right now. So if at any point, during this or the end of the night, you hear anything demonic, that's what that is. So, and Trace, you're in Minnesota.
Minnesota, it's cold, but I have a heater in this room now, which is I don't
awesome.
know. I didn't do that before. So yeah,
that's
look,
great.
Summer weather.
So we're going to be riffing on a whole new series of vintage educational shorts that we found. So these are all new shorts that you guys have not riffed on previously. So I think
we've never met before.
All of the educational lessons in these shorts are totally new to us.
Yes, but they're timeless.
They're timeless.
You know, every time we gather these, they all seem like very timely to what's going on. It's a complete accident. We're not that smart.
Yeah. And we're going to have a special guest joining us at the end of the night for a Q&A. And everyone, I'm sure, watching knows exactly who she is. So without further ado, let's welcome Mary Jo Pehl, everyone.
Yay!
Is that me? Is that my cue?
That's your cue.
You nailed it.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing tonight?
Thanks for joining us, Mary Jo.
Oh, I'm delighted, you guys.
Mary
It's so
Jo.
great to see you.
Yeah, it was Sketchfest almost a year ago that we hung out.
I know. Damn.
I miss going out to places like San Francisco and
Yeah.
I know.
Going out.
That was a year ago. I ran into you, Frank, there at Sketchfest. That was a fun weekend.
And they're doing it online and Riff Tracks are doing it, so people should check
that.
And Mary Jo too, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you doing
Yeah, I
it,
did a
Mary Jo?
Riff Tracks thing for Sketchfest. Yeah.
People
That lineup is amazing.
Yeah,
Good God.
people should check that out because it benefits Sketchfest, which we all want to survive.
Yes.
To
Yes.
keep going.
Yeah, so check that out. I think that's at the end of the month. I'll try to find some details of when your thing's going to be, Mary Jo. But
what else are you up to, Mary Jo? You following anything?
What?
Are you promoting anything else?
No,
Anything else?
I don't know. I always forget what I'm doing. So no, I don't
That
think so.
Netflix series coming out, a new book?
No, you have to rub it in, don't you? That everything I've done, nothing has ever gotten legs. Thank you so bloody much.
Well, that was uncomfortable.
Mary Jo hasn't abused enough female comics to get a Netflix comedy special.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, Frank. Thank you.
I like the Edward Hopper look you've got on your video. You've got this mysterious door going to a hallway.
Well, I just painted this office, so I haven't hung anything, so it looks really weird, and the hallway is painted too. So
I like it.
So that's the color you're going with?
Oh, is that what you're
Okay.
wearing?
It looks. I like it because if you watch like TV shows now, like news shows, and everything is on Zoom now. Everybody is in front of their bookcases. It's all, hey, look, everybody, look how well read I am. They
Totally.
always-
Or an open closet?
Yeah.
Not me. Not me.
I just hold.
I
up
just
my
have
Kindle.
I live in an antique store, so of all the crap I've ever owned.
All right, so guys, we got a ton of people watching us right now. So do you want to get
Excellent.
this show? Want to get this
Yes.
show going?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Cool. Let's all
Do,
turn
turn
our-
mute or
turn our cameras off here.
Emotions of everyday living are not allowed in the Midwest.
I'm from the Midwest, Frank, and I'm going to write you such a letter. Imagine me pulling alongside of you on the highway and shaking my head. Ben Franklin, crime photographer.
The Mental Health Film Board recommends for your mental health not to watch the film Wonder Woman 1984. Thank you.
Well, it's working. I'm depressed already. Howard the Less.
And the Clinical Depression Dancers. Release the Beckwith cut.
Our thanks to the United States Army Air Corps in cooperation in making this film.
Hey, wait up. I'm in this movie too. We all gotta pee.
From above in the sunlight, the classroom, like the jungle, appears to be a pleasant place.
He's been drinking.
Bill sits serene in his spot of class leader.
His pants filling with his own feces.
Mrs. Dean is not unaware of the forces at play below the surface.
Her shitty pay, for instance.
But liking children,
I'm the
she is
kid
not
sitting
afraid to look
behind
at
her.
them honestly. She sees them as people,
Not just pets.
not as apprentice angels. She's glad that Bob shares his turtle with all of them.
Yeah, now we all have
That
salmonella.
is, everything but his sense of ownership. She knows that Stuart likes school. He's not afraid of it.
Should be.
It seems safe enough. On such a day, who can see into the dark places?
Geez, lighten up, dude. They're kids.
What, did Ibsen write this?
Bill and Stuart are friends.
That's what their PR
Behind the
says.
shield of Bill's bigness, Stuart safely states his own opinion.
He questions Hilaria Baldwin's Spanish heritage.
All right, the back of the class where I was
Any
raised.
other nomination?
Rigged election.
I'm going to nominate Bill. Who seconds that nomination? Gary? I second nominate Bill.
God, this is going to take forever.
Any other nomination? Linda? I nominate Charles.
As president of my heart.
Charles is working it. Go, Charles.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Who seconds that nomination? Keith? I nomination.
I'm Batman.
I will never understand
Stuart always
baseball.
nominates Bill in the class election.
Game over. We won.
In return, Bill always selects Stuart as his second in command. They have, you see, a working political alliance.
Like we used to.
They're 6
They're
years
both
old.
7, but their feelings are centuries old.
I'm Yoda.
Practical is the word for young society. Of course, friendship, like all social relations, has its obligation.
Come on, Boo Radley, school.
Each morning, Bill and Stuart take the school bus together. If all goes well, that is. Stuart has
Run,
yet
Von
to get his
Ryan.
morning
Run,
firmly
Lola.
in hand. But Bill has a leader's taste for action. With Bill's foot in the door,
The bus
Stuart
can't
has
leave.
yet to miss
His
the
foot
bus.
is in the door. Don't leave. His foot.
This same morning,
Oh,
two
Bruce
new
Willis
boys
was in
start to school. Tom and Alan
Fresh
Drake
as
are
this
brothers.
morning's headlines, ladies and
They're
gentlemen.
not friends, nor are they enemies.
They don't even know
Let us
each other.
say that they are antagonists. Maybe it's because drugstore counters are not good places for children to breakfast.
Maybe they live in the Last Picture Showville.
Tom may still be hungry. Or Alan too cowed to keep his share. Perhaps Tom is frightened by the thought of the new school. It's new to Alan, too. But violence is not new.
Their dad is Sam Peckinpah.
We learn from our environment. Each day brings a new lesson, or the same lesson learned over and over again. We go to school to learn.
We do?
We take with us what we already know.
That we didn't learn in shit in school.
That day, Mrs. Dean is ill,
And a
and a
shapeshifter.
substitute takes her place. She's kind but inexperienced. She cannot know the secret, dark places in
What,
the
did
class.
James Elroy on the school board?
Even a happy routine can be upset by novelty.
Change is always
There
wrong.
was a sense of tension in the air that day.
That's
You may be one of
farting.
the team captains. What's your name?
Alan Drake, my brother, is in 6th grade.
And you?
His name is Bill.
I know his secret.
It's a young Hillary Swank.
Good, Bill. You and Alan may be team captains.
Nazi youth.
Yes, right away.
Come on, mind. Burn them. Burn them all.
You two go ahead and choose your teams. I'll be back right away.
I have been called to carousel.
Charles, do you want to be on my side? Yes. Thanks. And did you want to be on my side? No, I'd rather be on Bill's. Well, I'll sock you on the nose.
A young Republican.
Future tech company owner.
Want to be on my team? Who else is on your team? Carrie Marie.
I didn't know the Little Rascals was so full of politics.
And a few others. Okay, Al. Come on, let's get going.
Man, their line readings are so wooden, they should be in shop class.
I picked Stuart. I'm on his team. You're a big stinker. Nobody will call me a stinker.
An action sequence.
Wow, it's
my
mean
dad.
Sesame Streets. What the fuck?
It's a living.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
He hit my fist with his eye.
In that case, you can say it to the principal.
And there was much rejoicing.
Stuart doesn't know what happened.
He was blackout
He's
drunk.
sure that he isn't to blame. He doesn't know who is. He thought school was fun.
But ironically,
Bill doesn't know why Stuart punched him in the ear.
what? What?
Alan doesn't know what happened at all.
He's an idiot.
Those things just happen. Stuart badly feels a
Oh,
need
no,
of
he got sent to the
and he isn't
ASIFO.
going to get it from punishment. The punch hurt Bill's ear, but it also broke Stuart's most valued friendship.
With Harvey, his invisible rabbit.
Mrs. Dean came back in a few days.
As a force ghost.
Even in her sick bed, she had heard of the disorder, the violence, the trouble.
It had been in all the
What caused
papers.
it all was a mystery.
So she called in Mrs. Columbo.
She would have to look
She's
for the
on the
reasons.
TARDIS.
She would have to look at the children honestly, searchingly. Most of them take their appointed places.
Most of them.
Some of them gather around her desk as usual. Their questions about her health.
That desk is like
express
the
their
block
own
of
need to be
concrete on the
recognized.
Who's Next album.
Here is the
I'm
first
saying they're
secret.
peeing.
For now, that routine need is increased. Again, something different. Stuart and the new boy together. And Bill alone, apart from Stuart.
As it should be.
This has more intrigue than Succession
What is this new alliance?
between the vampires and the Lycans.
What is this new loneliness?
It's called life, Bob.
Mrs. Dean loses no time in getting acquainted with Alan. He is a logical starting place.
He'll name names.
She learns that Alan and his family have recently moved from a nearby town.
That does not
According
exist
to
on any
Alan,
map.
They seem to move a great deal.
He's Bruce Banner.
His father travels a lot. He likes games. He will eat lunch at school.
And only school.
He has charm. He needs to be liked.
What is this, Alan's Tinder profile?
Her charm is
It's like
his
a New
weapon.
York Times puff piece.
But she can be impervious to charm when the class is in trouble. In such a little time, they've gone back such a long way.
Back in time.
For her, there are a dozen danger signals. Linda has gone back to following with her fingers.
Just to point that out.
Carol Ann has converted her love of pets into a new and violent.
GOP politics.
Like Eric Trump.
Malcolm has forgotten how to work the simplest sums.
Somebody, some more, someplace.
And Alan, if this is self-expression,
He's an artist.
it is a troubled self that is being expressed. Charles has lost all interest.
And applies bronzer.
Bill does the same lessons over and over.
Saving on paper.
Laddie is at war.
Okay, you've convinced me. These kids are
Mrs.
fucked
Dean
up.
looks for growth
Well, so far,
and
Iowa's a
finds
lot of
the
laughs.
rubble of war.
Geez, who wrote this? Oliver Stone?
Next week, it is our turn to provide a flag bearer for the
Ew.
school's color
What's that
guard.
word?
Rather than my appointing someone, suppose you choose somebody, as we often do in other things. Write the name of the one you want on this paper.
I will not accept mail-in ballots.
This classroom was gerrymandered.
Alan, no one else is asking for votes.
I don't think he was asking.
I've wasted my life.
Was she in the Ramones? Maroons.
Please
Fix it in
pass your
post.
ballots to the front of the room.
That doesn't seem very
Pass them up
secure.
now. All right, Philip, you pass yours over here to Lindley. Tracy over to Philip.
What? This film is talking
Mary
to
over
me.
to Donald. All right, Charles, suppose you
So
be
many
our
rules.
recorder. You may go to the front. And Donald and Tom, suppose you be our teller.
Weird thing is, she's the lunch lady.
Donald will let you open the ballot, and Tom,
Oh, good God. Settle in. It's going to be a long election.
Pete,
All work and no play makes Pete a dull boy.
more than one shot. Keep on saying until I get a different one.
oh yes, you keep reading each
Don't go
one,
off
and
script.
suppose you put them on Lindley's desk as they're read.
Alan,
Yeah, nailed it.
Alan,
Yep.
Bob, Carol,
Ted, Alice.
Bill, Bill, Bill,
Fuck them all.
Bob, Keith,
This is like the Mickey Mouse Club on Quaaludes.
Bill,
Roll call, the motion picture.
Bill, Bill, Bill,
Too many bills.
Carol, Bob, Carol, Bill,
Exciting.
Carol, Keith, Keith, Bob,
Bueller.
Bob, Bob,
Ba Barang.
Keith, Bill.
All right, Charles, you may go to your seat now. Thank you very much. You've done a nice job.
Don't call us, we'll call
It
you.
looks to me, class, as if Bill is our winner.
Stop the steal!
Yep, I got it.
And the loser violin music confirms it.
Should
I
stick
take
to
even.
showbiz.
I take on. One, twice, right, shoot.
Are they air fighting
One,
or flinging boogers?
right, shoot. Yours. Once, twice, right.
This is an Olympic event now.
I pick Stuart. I want Stuart. I'm already on his side. Well, I'll suck in the nose if you don't play on my team. The heck with you. You always want to fight. I heck with you.
Language.
I'd hate to see this kid's rage tweets.
So,
Hey,
simply,
he left his ball and
status
went
quo
home.
is restored. The rejection
The force
of
is in
Alan
balance.
gives the class a sense of momentary relief. Of course, the problem of Alan still remains.
I'm the problem.
Hi, Alan. Why aren't you playing with a gang?
The Stuart wouldn't be on my side.
Ah, you big baby.
Roughhousing has never been portrayed so brutally on film.
Wrestling is so fake.
The problem of Alan remains for the class, for Stuart, for the teacher to solve. Violence is not always unhealthy.
What a
A
fink.
good tussle can be fun.
Bullying can be
Violence
cathartic,
based on hate is an illness.
like the rockin' pneumonia.
Stop it, both of you. What's your name?
Tom Drake.
You're Alan's brother?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why not?
Big brother. Who's your teacher?
Mr. Evans.
He hasn't been
Report to him
cast
right
yet.
away. Tell him you've been fighting. I'll see him later.
At our fuck pad.
Better go wash your face now, Alan. Recess time is almost over.
I'm always this
He didn't
dirty.
hurt me.
Well, that's good.
Are you
Yeah, I
gonna send
will.
Alan to the principal's office for fighting?
If you were in my
I love
place,
this
would
kid.
you send him?
I bet his brother started it.
I
What
look
makes you
better in
say
the
that?
dress.
His brother must have started it.
Did you see him start it?
His brother's bigger.
Well, I wouldn't go around saying those things unless I was sure of what I was saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you have
Can I go
access to
play now?
Fox News.
Trouble?
With Tribbles?
Yes, Alan and Tom Drake.
Tom told me he'd been fighting, but not with his brother.
Alan likes to use his fists.
Maybe he learned that from Tom.
Oh, it's like that? Know anything about the family?
Costa Nostra
No,
is
I
what they're called.
talked about seeing the father once or twice, but Tom got so upset.
You know, I'm crooning at the Copa
It
tonight.
doesn't sound good. You know, I've had a feeling about Alan, the way he pulls at the other children and tries to hang on to me. He's hungry for something. Love, attention.
Maybe both of them should be put on Mary
Zeppo
Asker's
Marx
list.
in a role that will
Let her
surprise
see
you.
both of them, and the parents.
You know,
It's
I think you're right.
1950
This
shades
is
of
exactly
gray.
where child guidance ought to come in. And let's not wait until real trouble develops.
Of course, as far as Alan is concerned, real trouble is already here.
Oh, yes?
Well, nothing in particular, just the general situation in the class. It's all stirred up.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, I said stirred.
Think Alan should be moved?
No, not that bad. But I can't let it go on. I know what I'll do.
Leave.
This afternoon, the human relations discussion. This is a problem that's real close to home. What do you think?
I think you should do it.
Love me!
It's time for our story period now.
I'm workshopping my
Instead of
one-woman
reading you a
show.
whole story, I'm going to tell you part of one, and then we can talk about it. As you know,
Let's
some of our
binge
stories
it.
have been about many things. Some of them have been about people. And this one I'm going to tell you today is going to be about people. In the problem, there are two girls who are sisters. One is
Bored
6 years
already.
old, and the other is 10.
Girls, huh?
The 6-year-old used to be a most pleasant child, but during the last year she has become very cross and unpleasant.
Her name is
She
Ivanka.
doesn't listen to her parents or her teachers. She
not a
tries
laugh
to
line.
boss the children around at school. And when she can't have her way, she gets angry and causes a lot of trouble. In general, she's proved very hard to get along with.
Is there a point to this bullshit? Now I will perform the story and
I want
dance.
you to put yourself in the place of the child's teacher and tell me what you would do in this case. Now think of some of the ways
Don't go to
teachers
him.
and other people have solved the same kind of a problem in the stories I've read to you. Now what do you think the teacher might do in this case?
Oh, Mrs. Cotter. Mrs.
Malcolm?
Cotter.
Find her.
Come again?
Maybe something happened to her. Make her stay after school.
Build a bridge out of her.
Don't let her have any recess. Maybe she's sick.
Find out what made her so bad all of a sudden.
Yes, find out how she became so bad all of a sudden. The teacher who had this girl in her class found out that she was being picked on by an older sister. Now, how do you
I'm the
think
girl in this
being
story.
picked on by an older sister made her feel?
She might fight back. She may want to pick on others.
Well, they won't like her if she picks on others.
She'll have no friends if she keeps up, she won't.
Yes, and when the teacher thought about this, being picked on may have made this little girl feel that she had to fight in order to prove herself.
The girl.
The teacher decided to do something about it. One of the little girls in the classroom said that this girl could do some fine weaving. So they had her bring that to class to show. She also
What's this
became a
story
good
about
reader,
again?
And the class often had her read to them.
This story
The
sucks.
discussion goes on under Mrs. Dean's guidance, and the whole class is involved emotionally.
But it has second act problems.
But Alan is offered an escape from uneasiness,
By tunneling.
while Stuart senses some vague parallel, and Bill sees actual application. Each one in the class learns what he is ready to learn. In this respect, a lesson in feelings is no different from a history or spelling lesson.
But they don't have feeling bees.
Alan's personal problems will continue to be a source of trouble. Deeply disturbed feelings are not set right by class discussion only.
He'll have to start reading Kafka.
What will the other children do about them?
Nothing.
For example, what action will Bill and Stuart take? Will the discussion bring concrete results? Is Bill any more understanding now? Can he do anything about it?
Are we supposed to answer all of this?
Will Stuart apply the story?
Or just say fuck it.
When we have learned cause, we are equipped to deal with effect.
Cool cause.
We can learn. Some hidden things live only in darkness. Some hidden things die in the light.
Life is essentially meaningless. Thanks for watching, kids.
7 is not too young to see. At 7, we are already part of a social structure.
7-Eleven.
Alan, bred on violence, cannot easily learn to live with peace. His society has learned not only to protect itself,
Back to Mustafar.
but to even help him a little. Some of the old balance has been restored.
The force is with them.
I'm out of this.
There will be more help from the Mary Ascots,
Wow.
the
Order
experts
66
in
was
child
harsh.
guidance,
Too soon?
and help to be gotten from the family itself. There will be more school days and time for more discussions.
And it will all suffocate her.
There are words to be remembered.
Well, I'll suck in the nose if you don't play on my team.
Each weapon breeds its own defense.
I'm hearing voices.
She'll have no friends if she keeps up shooting.
Actually, these are better
We
performances
start
by
looking
these
for
kids.
cause only after we notice effect.
Find out what made her so bad all
That's
of
the
a sudden.
worst desk in the room.
Yes.
It's the only
find
one that
out
had a
what hidden
voiceover
causes.
career, though.
Maybe she's sick.
Mental sickness can be contagious.
Shut up, desk.
But in this field, like any other, hygiene and education can go hand in hand. And that's reassuring.
Never been so depressed.
Brought to you by Cocoa Puff cereal. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
I was a spy for the NIM. Never mind.
Freight news superhighway.
Oh, I hate getting in late.
Face of the earth is cleared to make way for the farmer's plow.
My cow!
Under the earth, coal is torn loose to give us heat, light, and power.
All right. I'm
The
going to love
force
this
that
one.
moves mountains and does all this work? Dynamite.
Dynamite!
Man's most useful tools.
It's bad for your back.
To explode the dynamite, detonators, more commonly called blasting caps, are
Or
needed.
blowy-uppy things.
They're safe and useful in trained hands, but dangerous when handled by boys or girls or inexperienced adults. This story is about blasting caps.
And how they can change your life for the better. Blasting caps seem really cool so far. I don't know about you.
I know. I'm excited. I'm so happy we're doing it. A lot of the Brady kids had died off by this point.
It is not. It's a fighter. Bomber. Oh, what do girls know
Oh, I saw this debate on
I know a
CNN.
lot about planes. My daddy flies one, you know. Besides, it says so, right there on the box.
That's what I said it was, an attack bomber.
You said it was a fighter.
Did I, Tag?
Why would he say it was a fighter if it was a bomber?
Yeah.
Chuck knows more about planes than you or your dad.
Yeah, he just flies them.
He's the best airline pilot in the country, and when I grow up, I'm going to be an airline pilot too. Who ever heard of a girl
Yeah, that's a good
airline
dream.
pilot? My daddy says there's a first time for everything.
So suck it, sis asshole.
Hi, kids. I'll be home in a minute.
Mommy, when are we going to pick up Daddy? Give me back my plane.
What
do you want to play with planes for? Why don't you play with dolls? You're a tomboy. Oh, quit picking on her. What did you say? She's not hurting you. Just 'cause
This is
she lives
about
next
blasting
door to her,
caps,
you
isn't
don't
it?
have to stick up for her. I'm not sticking up for her. Exactly. Well, you'd rather play with girls than with me.
When Bernie Bros fight.
If you want to go to the airport with me to meet Daddy, you better come in and wash your hands. I'm coming, Mother. What's so special? Why are you going to the airport? It's Daddy's birthday, and we're going to have a birthday party. We're going to have ice cream and cake, sure, and steak. And we're going to cook it right over there.
a lot of information to give out.
New grill. And just our family's going to be there. No boys. Who wants to come to your old party anyhow? Oh, let her go. What'll we do?
She's the only other person we know.
Okay, I'll get some cookies.
This short film uses cookies to improve our service. Please kick here if you can sing.
So what? Doggone girl. Think she's so smart?
Hey, that's a resin kit. That was hard to find.
Well, that scene certainly ended. The 50s arriving on runway 3.
See, I would have cut to Dad getting luggage. Cut to Dad walking to car.
J.K. Rowling hates Trans World Airlines.
Can Mel Blanc fly on this plane?
The golden age of lax security.
Hi, we're over here in the crowd. My wife's here, shut up.
Are we all set for the party?
Directed by Harold P. Warren.
Kathy, you've been such a good girl. I've got a present for you on my birthday.
Oh, Daddy, is it a count?
I hate it when the camera's on the person talking.
Hey, do you have music clearance for that song?
This is actually my favorite cover ever of I've Been Working on the Railroad. So good.
Bikers.
Hey, maybe Mr. Barrow can fix it. Let's ask him. Hey, Mr. Barrow.
His first name's Wheel.
Hi, fellas. What you doing way out here?
Taking a ride, but something's wrong with my bike.
Well, bring it over. Let's have a look at it.
I'll just grab the bike's balls and ask it to cough.
If I do say so.
Well, you have
Fix
to.
it so I can ride it home.
Well, I reckon. I got some tools back there in the shack. Say, why don't you fellas go around back and pick yourselves an apple? The trees are loaded with them.
Which is weird because they're not apple trees.
Come on, Chuck, race it. Okay.
Say, Bike, do you like I've Been Working on the Railroad? Come on, sing along with me. I've been working on the... Come on, sing along.
Well, I'll have that stripped and sold in no time. Don't eat the ones off the ground.
Beat you again. Why till I get my bike fixed? Race it home. Okay. That
That'll be
Mr.
fun.
Barrow's nice. Yeah.
I love apples when they haven't been cleaned.
Going the way he does. Wouldn't you? Oh, I guess it'd be okay. But I'd rather be a pilot. Like Kathy's dad?
My apple, it's getting away.
Maybe.
Hey, I leaned on a prop.
Kathy thinks she's so smart. You know, I bet if we got back before they finished the party, they'd give us some ice cream. People always
One-track
have ice
mind.
cream and cake on birthdays. What's that, Chuck?
My finger, you idiot.
What is
All
it?
right, 5 minutes
Sort of
in.
like a
Finally, we got a
firecracker.
blasting cap.
I saw some kids put one under a tin can and set it off. Boy, it made a loud noise. Let's do it. Wait, I got a better idea.
I don't think so.
What? Kathy and her dad are building a fire in their grill, aren't they? Sure, but what's that? We'll sneak up and drop it in. It'll go bang. And boy, then we'll see how smart that Kathy is. It'll scare the daylights out of her.
Sounds like a good
Think we
plan.
should do it? Sure, it'll be fun. We'll sneak up, drop it in, and then hide. And watch their faces when it goes off.
That does sound like fun.
Gets hurt. Nobody'll get hurt. It's just like a firecracker. Come on, let's get our bike.
What a caper.
Okay. Race it.
That'll be fun, too.
Whee! This is fun. Hey, I didn't know these could do that. Whee!
Got it fixed.
Thanks a lot. Come
on, Tag. We will be late.
Oh, you boys got a big date, huh?
I'll say we... Come on, Tag.
Yeah,
I've
what?
changed my mind. I don't want to do it. Oh, for Pete's sake, why not? I just don't want to, that's all. Okay, I'll do it myself.
Means more exploded ice cream for me.
What's he up to?
Nothing, just a joke he's going to play with someone.
Well, gotta get this stuff loaded on the truck.
How about if I help you?
Okay, Tag.
I'll need you to sign a W-2
You
first.
could help me by leaving.
Hey, leave that alone, son.
Those are my Star Wars action
Down
figures.
easy now.
It's my VHS of German fisting porn. Be careful.
You load the tools on the truck. I'll take care of these. You gotta be mighty careful with caps. We don't let boys handle them. They're too dangerous.
People might wear
What
them.
are they?
Electric blasting caps. We need them to set off dynamite.
Did you say they were dangerous?
You're doggone right they are. Look here.
Boom, boom!
Cap is filled with a high-powered explosive. An electric current sets it off. And when this cap goes off, that sets off the dynamite, see? Now, because these caps are very powerful, they're very dangerous, especially if they're handled carelessly or
Like
get
this.
into the hands of children or somebody who doesn't understand them. You could stand 200 feet from one of these things when it exploded, and the flying metal could wound you or put an eye out.
Could. Keyword.
Chuck said, I thought it wouldn't hurt you.
Let me show you something.
This is gonna hurt.
You see that old shoe over there, Tag? Now, if you were to put a blasting cap in it and set it off,
It would turn
give
into
you
a
some
sandal.
idea of how dangerous a blasting cap can really be. Babe Ruth, with his mighty swing, never did to a baseball what a little blasting cap can do.
Who's Babe Ruth?
Kids have been known to set off blasting caps under a tin can.
Why? We don't
And you
know.
don't even have to be holding them to get hurt. You see? They're like a hand grenade.
A hand grenade?
Yes, dangerous
Wow,
as a
he's hand
hand grenade.
grenade-y.
Why, only a couple of weeks ago on a construction job not far from here, a boy found a cap, and he started to hammer it with a stone to see what would happen. That boy's right hand was crippled. He'll never play baseball again.
He never
But
played in the first place.
Kill you?
Yep, might even do that.
Might.
But I thought
Keyword.
it just made a noise like a big firecracker.
It does, and so does a hand grenade.
Chuck
Get
found
off the
something
hand
that
grenade.
looks sort of like that, but not exactly.
Now, wait a minute.
I'm gonna set off this hand grenade to prove my point.
Does it look like this?
Like your hand?
This is a different kind, but just as dangerous. If you ever find a cap, don't touch it. Leave it where it is and tell someone who knows something about them. Remember, one of them can cripple or blind you for life.
Then why do you leave them lying around your apple tree, asshole?
Why do you put this on the boy?
Man, tough crowd. Oh man, I wish I didn't live 3 states over.
Barry,
Oh, a Lego home.
where's Daddy? He's in the house changing his clothes.
Into what?
Well, please tell him to hurry. The fire's almost ready.
Good, I'm starved.
Oh God, why didn't I use my car?
Sneak up and drop it in the fire. It'll go bang.
You don't even have to hold them to get hurt. They're like a hand grenade.
I'll bet it scares the daylights out of Kathy.
One of them can cripple or blind you for life.
Look out, there's even more danger right there. That's an oleander bush we learned about in a previous short.
Dangerous when boys and girls touch them.
We'll drop it in the fire and hide out.
Might put an eye out. Might put an eye out.
It's not how you wear a mask.
They're like
Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces. This will be a blow against women's liberation. I've come back in time to kill her before she starts Ms. Magazine.
Not a very good ninja.
Howdy, cowgirl.
Pick him up, Congrave.
Bang, gotcha.
He had a silencer.
My
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
She's dead again.
Kathy! What's the matter with you? I'm all right. We're just playing.
This kid is terrible at sneaking.
I know.
What's going on here?
Hey, Phillips, what's gotten into you?
He was going to throw this in the fire.
Why, that's a blasting cap.
Oh, Chuck!
Don't you know these things are dangerous? You could have killed somebody.
Could.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody. It was just a joke.
Joke, huh?
It was a
This
conceptual
could have
bit.
wounded any one of us.
Could
A piece
have.
of metal had hit us, right? Or it might have put out an
A
eye.
lot of conjecture here.
I've been in air battles in a lot of tight places.
You fly for Delta.
But I've never had a closer call than just now.
Did everybody have blasting caps
are
back then?
powerful
They were
explosives.
strewn across the
Do you
countryside.
know that now?
I'm just going to put this in here with my manifesto.
All right, now I want you to promise never to touch a blasting cap. If you ever see one, don't move it, don't touch it with anything. Leave it just where it is and call someone who
Maybe
knows
this
how to
video should have been
handle it.
directed at the construction workers.
I'm going to take this over to Mr. Barrow myself.
Can I go with you, Daddy?
Sure, Kathy.
You losers are not
Were
invited.
you really scared, Daddy?
Scared? Of course I was.
Look at all the pee.
When I think what could have happened to you, I get cold shivers. But they say children learn best from experience. So if you've learned never, ever to touch a blasting cap, well, then perhaps it was worthwhile. Come on.
Daddy, can I play with a blasting cap? What did I just tell you?
Hey, you kids don't live there.
Take a good look at this blasting cap.
And your weird
and
hand.
don't touch it.
Swallow it. Trust no one.
Here's another kind. Don't touch it.
Without its consent.
It's indica.
This one's a little different.
That's sativa.
Don't touch it.
It's a hippie blasting cap.
Here's one more. Remember what it looks like and don't touch it.
Well, now I have to touch it.
Can't touch this.
If you ever see any of these blasting caps anywhere, don't move them. Don't touch them with anything. Leave them just where they are and call a policeman, a fireman, a sheriff,
A nun.
or tell your mother and father.
Unless your mother and father work for Blackwater. Oh, Pennsylvania is violent. Yeah, I'm drunk.
How to keep a job as a projectionist.
That's his given name.
I like this music. Hey, could you punch out for me, Frank?
A cyborg came back from the future to terminate me.
I've won what? Oh.
Those shoes are fabulous. Want?
It's the colorized version of Walk the Dark Street.
Ambitious young man wanted for go-nowhere shit job.
Wanted for photoshopping. I filled out one of those in my day.
I have to fill this out to be a porn fluffer? What the hell? Luang Fu, lots of love, Julie Newmar. Who wouldn't hire this guy?
It's General Zod. Well, we're waiting.
This looks all right. Tell me, why are you interested in this job?
I need a steady job, Mr. Wiley, with a chance to go places.
I see. Now, this one job you had with the
Arby's
Distributing Company. You worked there for 18 months?
Yes, sir.
Why did you leave?
Creative
Because
differences.
I wasn't getting anywhere. After 18 months, I figured I was worth more than they were paying me. And I figured I was ready for promotion to more important work.
Toilet cleaning.
I see.
Honest, Mr. Wiley, it was a rotten company. I don't know why I stayed as long as I did.
Tell me, were you fired?
Out of a cannon?
Yes, I was. But it wasn't my fault.
I didn't mean to kill that
Company
guy.
jumped up and started firing people. Retrenching, they called it. What do you think of that?
I think it's a pretty normal situation. A business has to live within its income.
Corporations are people, you know.
Many factors affect that income. Sales, general economic conditions, the development of new industries that replace old ones. For these and many other reasons, businesses often go through periods of adjustment and reorganization when they're forced to let people go.
I didn't do anything. Why me?
Why me all the time?
You said that in 18 months you hadn't gotten anywhere.
That's right. Other fellows who started later were promoted right over my head.
How much warning do you need? Couldn't you see the company valued the other fellow's services above yours?
But I thought I was doing fine. What did I do?
Do you expect me to answer that?
No, sir. I guess you wouldn't know.
Actually, I probably do know better than you do. I have no business taking time for this, but well, I can't help thinking you might really amount to something if you'd set your mind to it. Try to see yourself as your employer saw you.
A total dweeb.
Better still, let me give you a picture of a case I really do know. It's about a young man who came to work in our shipping room here, and another young man. Now, we begin work here at 8:30.
8:30?
That's the time to begin this business of keeping a job.
Oh, man, 8:30, that is harsh.
And that's the time Bob Anderson began work every day. We could depend on him to be on time and to do his work on time. You might call him an eager beaver. But look at it from the employer's point of view. Wouldn't you like to have Bob working for you? Dependability is one of the main keys to keeping a job and getting ahead. Now, dependability includes a willingness to work. Some of the work in our shipping room is hard work. That's why we've always had two fellows working there.
It's like riffing movies, better with two people.
I'm back.
Two fellows who
It's
were
out of sync.
That's, see what I mean?
The other fellow I want to tell you about is Walter, Bob's brother, Bob's twin brother.
They're cyborgs
But the
underneath.
resemblance is only skin deep. Look at Walter from the employer's point of view, and you see how not to keep a job. Look at him from Bob's point of view, and you see how not to get along with your fellow workers.
Early Amazon worker.
Bob would be popular wherever he worked. You know he would do his share of the work and help others who needed help. Cooperation is another way to keep a job.
Well, this paper's not going to read itself.
Walter finally decides to go to work, but a job he was supposed to do first thing.
Making flyers for his indie alt band's gig in Brooklyn.
Actually, he was supposed to run
No
it
one will
off
know.
the evening before, but he put it off. This is how not to be dependable, how not to cooperate with the company
I'm
and with
learning.
your fellow workers in your own and other departments. Poor Walter. Who should come into the shipping room but me?
And I'm a fucking hard
The
ass.
boss always seems to find out.
Thanks to the Patriot Act.
Walter's manner gave him
You
away.
call this making Mimeo?
Now, it isn't hard to learn to make good, clean copies on a duplicating machine.
I hate you.
And this wasn't the first time I'd had to criticize Walter for making poor copies. And it wasn't the first time he tried to alibi his way out of a situation.
Actually, he'd do fine at
The
Kinko's.
fact was, Walter just couldn't take criticism.
Of the movie Cats. He loved
How
it.
can a man expect to improve on a job if he won't listen to the very people
Yeah.
who can help him?
His drug dealers.
Just before closing time, you'll find Bob getting the shipping room ready for the night.
With his My Pillow bedding.
And you'll find Walter getting himself ready. So he won't be a second late punching the clock. An employer sees this as a sure sign that a man
Flink,
isn't really
flink.
interested in his work. I ask you, if you were the employer and had to cut down your staff,
Cut them both in
which fellow
half.
would you keep?
That's not hard to answer. But why didn't you go ahead and fire this, Walter?
Now, don't be too hasty. I'm only telling you about Walter's bad points. He did enough work to hang on to his job. As long as times are good, there'll be jobs for fellows who just barely do enough to get by.
Just ask Eric Trump.
But to keep a job when the going gets rough, you need to insure your job. Make yourself so valuable your employer can't let you go.
Steal a few things.
We've talked about dependability and cooperation. Now, another prime quality is initiative.
Oh, good. Can I leave now?
And for once, I have something good to say for Walter.
He voted for Ossoff.
It's not hard to understand why he was unhappy whenever shipments were left just inside the door. The packages had to be hauled all the way across the room for wrapping.
All the way over 10
and
feet.
hauled back again when they went out.
Oh, man, these working conditions are brutal.
If you don't like the way things are done, you can spend a lot of time complaining about it.
Okay.
That was Walter's usual way. But this time, he got an idea. And he knew what to do with it. In every company, there's plenty of room for improvement.
Dear
And the
fuckface,
management
I
usually
quit.
welcomes suggestions from employees. Walter's idea was a practical one.
Get
So
rid of
he
the
adopted
suggestion box.
The company benefits through time saved and less handling of packages. The fellows in the shipping room benefit through having one of their harder jobs made easier. And Walter improved his standing with his employer by his display of initiative. But one good mark isn't enough. One day, not long after, Walter was taking advantage of a lull in the work.
Kiss up.
And Bob was bringing the shipping records up to date when...
The police raided the place.
What you got there? Shipment for you.
We have no idea what's in these boxes.
Well, finally. The stuff they've been running in here asking about every hour for the last 3 days. Sign here. That's the way it is in this company. They wait till they've run out of something, and everybody runs around like crazy. No system, and nobody in charge with enough brains to start one. What a way to run a business.
You don't like the company, why do you work for it? Me, I work for a swell outfit. I'm proud of them.
Maybe I'd like to work for them. Could they use me?
The mob?
What for? A press agent?
Zing! Delivery guy 1, Walter 0.
Found out that nobody thinks very much of a man who talks against the company he works for.
Opinions are for communists.
And what did Walter gain by making that false statement about his company? Nothing. Except trouble for himself if it got back to his employer. Which it did.
Now Walter's dead.
I guess it's not very different from the way I was talking to you about the place where I used to work.
Well, there's a saying, if the shoe fits.
Oh, the shoe fits all right.
Oh, they make shoes.
You knew it would, didn't you? Yep, I could see my shortcomings all over the place.
Yeah.
Dependability, initiative, cooperation, and loyalty. I could have done a lot better on every count.
You can do better. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, am I going to get fired again?
Well, Bob, I've got a new assistant for you. Bob Addison, this is Ed Blakesley.
Hi, Ed. Glad to meet you.
Bob's a good man to watch. As soon as he trains somebody to take over here, he's moving up to assistant purchasing manager.
Ooh.
Say, that's great. Mr. Wiley's been telling me about you and your brother.
Did he tell you about my fake
brother?
sister?
Yeah, your twin brother, Walter.
I had a point to make, so I invented a twin brother for you.
No, that's just fucking
See,
weird.
In this twin of Bob's, I was really describing Bob when he first came to work here.
Oh, you mean the way I was loafing on the job around here before?
They make loafers.
I get it. And then you... Well, if you can...
Say it.
Say, Mr. Wiley, did I ever tell you about my twin brother?
Oh, shut up and get to work, dipshit.
So that's Hydra? I like this. It's like Laurel and Hardy music.
Stanley.
Like Cinephobia, the fear of watching movies. Now it's a polka.
Ironically, his brother Ted Sorensen wrote Profiles in Courage.
Où est Philippe? À la piscine. That's all I learned in French.
This is the day of tryouts for our annual swimming meet at the Lawndale Community Club. And it's a special day for one of the boys.
Who's allergic to chlorine.
Because he's proving something that happens all the time. He's proving that you can overcome a handicap so completely that you climb right to the top. Oh, Bill hasn't won yet.
He looks like he has a
He
one.
has qualified to swim in the finals. Though it is a special day for him. It's rather a special day for me, too.
I got my teeth
See,
cleaned.
I've been coaching Bill, and I feel I had a part in making him one of our best swimmers.
I did it all.
But I said something about a handicap, didn't I?
Andy Cap?
Well,
He's strong.
there was a time when Bill was severely handicapped as far as swimming goes.
He shoots a 90 now.
He used to visit the pool once in a while, but it was the same story every time.
He just used it to pee. Oh, cold. 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 Cold.
We've all done it.
It's warm now. Well, long as I'm here, might as well pinch out a number 2.
Satisfaction. Oh, yeah.
He really wanted to learn to swim. But
well, I swallowed my own poop.
He'd never learn that way. Yes, Bill had a handicap.
Handicap?
That handicap was fear.
Fear of deck chairs, oddly enough.
He also had IBS. Yeah, the potato goes in front.
Oh, hot pavement. Pavement, hot, hot, hot.
At first, Bill's friends used to ask him to join in the fun.
Hey, Bill, come on in.
With fun.
But no, there was no use. They forgot Bill was there.
He was the first victim of cancel culture.
But Bill couldn't forget himself.
As hard as he
He
tried.
kept thinking and worrying. I think I'm a coward, do they? Well, maybe I am. If only I weren't so afraid. I could learn to swim. I could have fun like that.
It's full of fun without Bill. The beach ball of death. Well, now there's a lot of pee in the pool. Get that ball.
Help her. Help the bombardier. I'm the bombardier. We'll help her. Help her.
The ball, it's getting away.
I supervise the rescue.
No, just scrape her across the concrete. Oh.
You're okay.
Sure. I'm a coward.
Sometimes a town
Afraid
needs a
of the
coward.
water. Afraid to jump in and help somebody. Well, they're not cowards.
Yeah, next to you, they're the Fantastic Four.
Janet either.
I'm better now. I just wanted you to notice me.
I have Munchausen syndrome.
They say if you fall off a horse, you should get right back on as soon as you can.
Unless it's in the
so you
water.
won't be afraid of horses. I guess she's not going to let this thing worry her. Well, I'll never get over being afraid in the water, no matter how often I get in the pool. What's the
That
use?
is a nice swing rocker. I mean, the chair.
Lockers! Oh God, I'm afraid of lockers too!
Trying to swim. I'll
My
never
dad's
learn.
rich. He'll pay another kid to
I'll
do
never
it.
get over being afraid.
Oh, the Samuel French Company sucks.
Swimming for cowards.
Who's picking that up, Jesus?
Giving up? Yeah, giving up, that's right.
I'm giving up life for Lent.
You're Bill Brent, aren't you?
No.
My name's Barker. I'm the swimming instructor around here. I've noticed you out there.
Creepy.
You really want to swim, don't you?
Oh, it's no use, Mr. Barker. I'm afraid. I'm a coward.
Even a glass of water
First
terrifies
coward
me.
I've ever known that had courage enough to admit it. Huh? Look, I'll agree you're afraid of the water. But does that make you a coward?
It's why we're here.
Most people are afraid of something. Most folks are afraid of wild animals. A lot of people are afraid of speeding cars. I am. I always get out of the way when I see one coming toward me. I guess that makes me a coward, too.
It's common sense.
That's different. That makes sense. But being afraid of water, it's silly.
You know, you're 98%
Easy
water.
to say a fear is silly, but that doesn't necessarily help. You know, You're letting yourself get in the habit of being afraid.
In the habit?
Yes. Hey, maybe you
Do
know
you
my
hang
kid
out in the
sister.
locker room a lot?
She used to be afraid of dogs. She's getting over it now, but once it was quite serious. We don't really know how that fear started.
But I think
it
it
might
went
well have happened
something
this way.
like this.
When my sister was very small, the people next door had a large dog.
In comparison.
He was a rough, noisy dog, too.
It protected their laundry.
Perhaps sometime in her play, Sis came up quite close to the fence.
This is all conjecture.
When the dog came running toward her, she was naturally startled. And, well, if that happened several times, you can see how she might have gotten the habit of being afraid of dogs.
Might.
And that
Keyword.
habit stayed with her long after she forgot all about the first dog that frightened her.
Your sister sounds whack.
She was getting over it now. How did she do that?
How did she?
Edibles.
Well, she knew it was an unreasonable fear. And she wanted to
What's up,
overcome it.
dogs?
So she and I worked together. We figured she should know dogs. We felt she should make friends with dogs.
With benefits.
It wasn't
Here,
easy
take it.
for her.
Take it. I'm dropping
She
it.
took
I'm dropping
very
it.
Slow. My knowing that a dog wouldn't hurt her wasn't enough. She had to know. She had to have experience in handling dogs, caring for them. There was a cute little puppy.
Yeah.
How could she be afraid of him? How could she help loving the little fella? Who wouldn't come closer to a big dog for a chance to play with a puppy a little longer?
I am so with you
Who
on
could
this.
remain afraid of the pup's mother very long? Certainly not my sister.
Well, now she has rabies, but still.
It takes experience, knowledge, determination, and insight
Plus dog
to
food.
overcome fears that are not rational. But it can be done.
Can I put my clothes on now?
I'm too much of a coward.
If you keep calling yourself a coward, you're apt to start acting like one.
I prefer Frady Cat.
Hey, didn't I see
I called myself an astronaut. That didn't work.
Something about a bicycle ordinance, wasn't it?
Yes, I just happen to have a copy right here.
I wrap myself in newspaper and pretend I'm a fish.
Oh, yes, here we are.
Oh, Zach Norman is Sammy and Chief Sabu.
You deserve to be proud of yourself. Student defends bicycle ordinance.
To the death.
Whoa, this is off the hook!
Tell me
Clickbait.
about this.
Well, you know about the new ordinance to keep bicycles off the sidewalks.
Who doesn't?
It's really an important safety measure. But a lot of the kids didn't like it. And they held this protest meeting. Some of us thought
Protest
it was a good
action
ordinance.
shot.
And I went to the meeting and said so.
I refuse to certify the
To
vote.
me, in the interest of safety, we ought to accept this rule.
Oh, geez, the
The least we
Trade
can do is
Federation
give
wasn't
it a
this
fair
boring.
trial. Pipe down. Do you have a bicycle? Yes, I have a bike. But
Well, get
when I'm
on it.
walking on a sidewalk, I like to feel safe. So I'm willing to ride my bike in the street.
Rhubarb.
Good going, Bill. You told him. Do you agree with me?
Sure.
Well, get up and
I
say
like
so.
this kid. He's got star potential.
Go ahead. Come on.
Picture them naked. Oh no. Ah, the judgment of white people.
Now he's peeing.
You know all my secrets, don't you? Get out of my head!
I tried to get Ed to speak up, but he wouldn't.
So I had to kill
And the
him.
kids are still all steamed up.
Could you just put a shirt on?
The courage of your convictions.
Huh?
I just thinking of another educational short.
You said he wouldn't speak up even though he agreed with you.
Yeah, he's a centrist Democrat.
Would you say he was afraid?
No, I never use that
Afraid.
word.
Well, I guess. But that can't be. Ed helped Janet today when she stumbled into the water. He's no coward.
He's no
The other
coward?
day you stood up for what you thought right against
Very
opposition.
urbane.
So you're no coward.
He's no...
You
Yeah,
showed
they're
what
all
we
no
call
coward.
Moral courage.
No longer
Well,
available.
maybe. Maybe I'm just a part-time coward in the water.
Let's make it
That's
full-time.
where I'd like to help. You want to learn how to swim?
Well, I...
Come on then. Let's get started.
And he
That
never
day,
wore a shirt
Bill
again.
started overcoming his fear.
If only he could hear the
He was in
VO.
the habit of being afraid. So the important thing was to get him in the habit of not being afraid.
Okay. How much of this pool water do I have to drink?
You're right. Chlorinated water is delicious.
I went swimming with my face.
Bill learned gradually. Over a period of
I'm drowning. I'm okay.
Some of the skills
I'm drowning. I'm okay.
As he became more skillful in the water, he also became more confident. He was ready to try actions that would have frightened him before. Because now he knew he could always right himself in the water, and so needn't fear drowning.
Now he's just drowning in debt since he got my bill.
I'm confident now.
Then, as he learned more, Bill gradually eased into deeper water. If he could swim across the shallow end of the pool, he could swim across the deep end.
And then, why not go emotionally off the deep end? Anything was possible.
And, of course, the better he could swim, the less Bill feared the water.
Uh-oh.
And
Bill.
he overcame his habit of fear. He became confident.
Tonight he sleeps with the fishes.
And so today is a special day for Bill. He did
It's on the
overcome his
calendar now.
handicap, and very well, too. Whether or not he wins in the swimming meet, he has proved
Let's
to
all swim in
himself
our
and to
communal
others
juices.
that he is not a coward. Well, we all have little fears which hamper us. We should take a tip from Bill. Our lives can be richer, happier, if we overcome our
Now it's just life itself that terrifies him.
Oh, I'm afraid of the dark. Oh, I'm afraid of crowns. This has got to have Laurel and Hardy in it.
A film about a cooperator who plays by his own rules. He was accused of being a collaborator.
We all know what the word cooperate means.
I prefer to co-opiate.
Meaning with or together.
Or company.
And from operate or work, we know that cooperate means work together.
Can we go now?
But do we really understand cooperation? Do we know how to get other people to cooperate with us?
Well, blackmail seems to work.
As physics teacher and audiovisual coordinator at our school,
I
have many chances to find out. For instance, one day I was discussing an experiment with Harry Collins.
Junior.
Why do they call him Harry?
The object seems to move better if you overcome the inertia with a steady, easy push rather than a quick, sharp blow. Is that it?
That's right. There's momentum.
Mr. Baldwin, they're here, the new projectors.
Hey, it's the kid from the previous film.
I'm here.
I knew he'd be a star.
I'll be with you shortly.
So fuck off.
Harry, there's momentum to be overcome, you see.
I think I have it. Thanks, Mr. Baldwin. Just a second, Harry. I want to talk to you in a minute. Mr. Baldwin, I just saw the new projectors being delivered. How soon can we unpack them?
No day like today. I'm glad they've arrived.
Unpack
now
the plot,
we can
too.
go ahead with that plan for training student operators we talked about.
So films can be shown better in the classrooms, huh? Oh, Harry, what's in the Operators Club reforming? From now on, you show films during your study hour time. I don't know. I don't think
Angry
I wanna be
teenage
an
werewolf.
operator on that basis. Oh, why not? What's the matter? Don't be a loafer, Harry. I'm not a...
No, I hate completing sentences.
I like Harry.
Goodbye, Mr. Baldwin.
Say hi to Hilaria for me. I'm glad I ate his parents.
That's cooperation for you. What's eating him?
Well, Harry is usually cooperative. He's a member of the student council, the class committee, and the basketball team.
Plus the Suicide Squad.
Hardly what I'd call a loafer.
Well, I think he ought to help, but we don't need him in the Operators Club.
Well, Ed, I'm glad that you're so interested.
Why do you keep walking away from me?
I hope you'll be able to help organize.
Look how
the
he's
operation.
isolated in the shot. Very symbolic.
All right. Here's a plan that's been successful. See what you think of it. We'll need to recruit operators.
What?
Build projector stands. Manual training classes can help on that.
Well,
Train the operators. And arrange schedules so they're available for every class.
Too hard.
And then plan our maintenance so the projectors will remain in good condition.
What was the first thing?
Program, and we'll need cooperation from a lot of people.
That's great, Mr. Baldwin. I've got to start already. Here's a notice I typed up for the bulletin board. Would you look it over?
Be in room 110 if you want to see your son alive again. What the hell is this? It's just a first draft. I know it needs to be polished and worked on.
You know, it's not that long. It's only a sentence.
When you talked to Harry just now, you didn't get much cooperation, did you?
No.
Well, I'm not sure this notice says just the right thing either.
It needs punching up.
Say, I'd like to show you a physics experiment here.
In my pants.
If you were asked to get that weight moving in the quickest way, how would you do it?
I get Harry to do
Did
it.
it as hard as I could. With the hammer.
You would? Try it.
Sure, watch
Now
this.
get your brain moving.
Ow, that's my jack in hand.
Now, watch this.
We've secretly switched this weight with Folger's crystals.
But what does getting this thing started have to do with getting caught? Oh, I get it.
I'm a
You mean I've
moron.
been using sledgehammer methods about the Operators Club.
What do you think?
Yeah, of course. People generally do have inertia about doing things. If you want to get them started, you have to apply a push in the right, easy way.
And then hang them by their necks
Ed,
from a
you
rafter.
should be able to get this club on a real sound foundation, if you go about it the right way. You're respected, you're enthusiastic,
You're good
you have
looking.
a good purpose, one you really believe in,
My special
and you have a
purpose.
plan. All these are important to cooperation. What you need to do is to interest people in working together, in cooperating with you.
Sounds easy, but will it really work?
No.
Well, all around us there are problems that require cooperation. Take this organization.
The
They want
Federalist
my
Society.
cooperation.
I told him to fuck off.
Before I contributed, they had to convince me to help in their plan for achieving a worthy goal. Or take Northbrook, that new section of town that's just been built up. To get the cooperation of his neighbors, Mr. Jones could appeal to their interest,
They're all in witness
their
protection.
desire to lend a helping hand. He might appeal on a concept of mutual help.
He's too cheap to buy a motor for his car, so
Might
this is
offer
how he gets
assistance in
around.
return, cooperating in getting them all to work on time.
Come on, you got to push me all the way to
But
work.
there's a bigger matter that needs cooperation.
Hats!
Getting that street paved.
Why?
Now,
What's wrong
with
with
so
it?
many houses, the appeal for cooperation can be on a basis of personal gain. Each person can gain
Thanks for the
directly
ride.
from the
It's just,
pavement.
hey, there's no handle on
But
this door. Don't
individual
close that door.
methods
We're
are
trapped.
It's my motor sound. Thank you.
Jones could convince his neighbors that they can achieve results only by working together, by well-prepared letters,
Mave,
full of
Papal,
facts and
Mavenue.
logic.
Pavel Maple
Jones could
Mav.
appeal to his neighbors to meet together.
Oh, that is
and
one
to speak
pretty
with a
sign.
cooperative voice
Pavel
to the
Maple-
town council.
Mavel paping.
And if Jones has
Oh,
really been convinced,
oh, it's so nice
find
here.
his
I'm a
neighbors
Midwestern
working
lady.
together with
That's why I talk like this.
cooperating to achieve common effort.
God, people were sexy back
All
then.
such community action depends on cooperation. And cooperation is based on convincing other people that they want to help.
Did that really happen?
No.
I don't know, but it could if Mr. Jones knew how to get cooperation.
Well, I do.
Don't touch that!
Wrong
I
finger.
think I can get things really started now. Thanks a lot, Mr. Baldwin.
Get the movie
Goodbye.
started. What an asshole.
Oh, God, I'm so lonely.
Well, Ed began using new techniques, appealing to different interests of different people. He found that Ken could be interested in the service angle, doing
Don't touch
something
me.
for the school. He talked about the projectors and how much fun it was to learn to handle them. That interested Charles,
Who wanted to become his apostle.
and Ed's enthusiasm was contagious.
Hey, don't say contagious,
Soon he
okay?
had help from others, help in organizing the club.
Lumpy Rutherford.
I think Ed put away his sledgehammer. And the fellows respected Ed, even when they didn't agree with his proposition. They listened because they respected him as a person.
Of interest.
He must have worked on Harry 2 or 3 times.
Really
Gentle,
worked him over.
Easy pushes to get him started. Harry had inertia about this,
but it could be overcome. Yes, Ed made all kinds of appeals.
If you don't fall asleep while reading this, you're hired.
It is a much better note now, I have to say.
Okay, we've read it. Okay, we see it. All right. Yeah.
And before long, the gentle pushes began to ease the clubs into
Okay, I'm
action.
finished.
Now that we've discussed the lesson points to look for, we'll see the film.
About time.
We're honored today, being the first class to use the new student operator service.
We're releasing it on
Our
HBO Max.
audiovisual engineer, Ken Johnson, has volunteered in his study hall time to make possible a smooth, effective showing. We appreciate his cooperation.
You just turn it on, okay?
All right, Ken.
Time to show us that thing. What do you call it? A snuff film, was it? It stinks.
Yes,
Turn it off.
we appreciate
Turn it off.
Ken's cooperation, and we appreciate Ed's help in getting it.
Hey, shut up and watch the
When
movie.
Ed
Don't
looked
talk
for
over
ways
it.
to convince people that they wanted to cooperate, he found them. And he found that people want to help. Ed talked sincerely, appealing to various interests. He wrote notices that attracted and appealed in the right way.
No, you wrote that.
A series of gentle pushes
with your pinky,
just the
like
right
tea.
time to really get things done.
This is fun.
And isn't it odd that now we respect Ed all the more for helping
So he's the
convince
new Doctor Who?
operators to pull together in the same direction.
Towards an empty life of slow-burning despair.
Shut up. The movie's on.
And so, it's easy to see that two or more forces acting in the same general direction produce the effect of a single force
Does
somewhere
that
between
math
them,
add
and
up?
much larger than either one alone. This is known as the principle
It's amazing how often physics ties to cooperation in people.
Movies make film better.
Or is it? Yeah, it is, actually.
It looks like the rabbit's foot didn't help
What the?
much. Not that
All right.
time, anyway.
We now join our story already in progress.
I was getting popcorn.
In the end of the playground period didn't end the argument between George and Alan. They took
Alan
the rabbit's
is
foot up
back.
again with Miss Carr, their teacher. George says,
Yeah.
I told you no good.
What?
A rabbit's foot is just a silly old superstition. But Alan wouldn't give up. What is a superstition, anyway? And what is a fact? Are all superstitions true, or are just some of them true?
Why does she keep phase shifting?
Now, George tells me he thinks me a fact, or something he believes is a fact. Yes, Alan?
I gotta pee. Oh, too late.
Well, last week when we talked about glass, we said it was a non-conductor of the electricity. I think that's a fact, isn't it?
Pipe down, Poindexter.
We did talk about that, and we can add that to our list. Now, who else can give me another statement? Something he calls a superstition. Yes, Marion?
I will get equal pay when I enter the workforce.
About the ground 6 weeks more of cold weather.
Yes, that is a fairly common saying. Now we have 2 more statements to write.
No trouble getting a lot of statements to add to her list. And by the next minute, arrange the statements in a chart on the blackboard.
That nobody could read.
Class had mentioned 8
Learn
items in
cursive,
all.
kids.
And from these, they had chosen 6 statements for class discussion. First, there was the original rabbit's foot idea. A rabbit's foot brings good luck.
Except for the rabbit.
Next was an example of a fact. Glass is a non-conductor of electricity.
It's so wrong.
Then, if the groundhog sees his shadow on the 2nd of February, there will be 6 more weeks of cold weather. Miss Carr asked George to hand out individual record sheets so everyone could study all the statements very thoughtfully. Somebody had suggested the statement, a pint of milk weighs more than a pint of cream.
Yes.
Then there was the idea that hot water will freeze quicker than cold water.
Yes.
And last on the list was, water expands when it freezes.
That's cray-cray.
Miss Carr asked everyone to think about each statement and to check off each one on the list. This would give each pupil a record showing, I believe that statement.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe this one.
Perfect score.
I'm doubtful about this.
No.
And so on. Very quickly, everyone completed the lists of the 6 statements the class had chosen. And now Miss Carr could add up what the whole class thought about each statement, from the rabbit's foot idea clear on down the line to the end. These are the opinions of the whole class.
Who's this for? Nate Silver?
Now that we've recorded our opinions,
I like
think
that
we
she
should
dressed like an
investigate to
alien
find out whether or
ambassador
not
from
our
the old
opinions
Star
are
Trek
based on
series.
good reasons. First, how about a rabbit's foot? Will carrying one bring good luck?
Not for the
It
rabbit.
seems to me there's one way to find out. Alan?
Yes, Miss Carr.
Cut off your foot.
Will you meet the 10 students who would volunteer to carry them for a week? Now, this is the first step in our experiment.
Yes, this will be an actual scientific experiment to find out if carrying a rabbit's foot will bring good luck to the 10
Here,
volunteers.
science the shit out of this thing.
Like many experiments, this one will extend over a period of time. Miss Carr wrote the experiment. George listed the students who will not carry rabbit's feet, and Alan listed those who will carry them for a whole week. At the end of the week, each
Can you
student
see
will
why I
report
was
what
bored
happened.
in school?
Meanwhile, Marion wrote on the board the names of her group. Their job will be to look up weather reports, to find out if the groundhog seeing his shadow really governs the weather. They'll report next week, too. But some of the statements do not take so much time to investigate. We can test this statement right away. Glass is a non-conductor of electricity.
Never.
It's impossible.
First, Alan and Larry test their batteries and circuit. It's all right, the bulb lights up. And if a metal rod is put in the circuit, it lights again.
It lights up too.
So we know that metal is a conductor of electricity.
Try that.
But what about glass?
Ha, I told
Nothing
you.
happens. No light.
Now, do you believe that glass is a non-conductor of electricity?
Because it doesn't exist.
There's no doubt about it now, because our experiment proved that statement to be a fact.
What about alternate facts?
While Alan put away the electricity experiment things? Miss Carr recorded the result.
And hated what her life had become.
Now the students were basing these new opinions on evidence, experiments, guesswork anymore. A week later, Marion and her group were ready with
This is
their
a
report on the
long
groundhog
class.
statement. And while Marion was copying her records, Miss Carr called for individual reports on the rabbit's foot experiment. Alan was first.
To start crying and lose his shit.
I was one of the 10 who carried a rabbit's foot. I found a quarter last Saturday. I
I'm
call
rich.
that luck. I didn't carry one. On Wednesday, I won the school poster contest, and on Thursday, I got a pretty low mark in history. I guess that's good luck.
The
and
well-farbled wagon if
I did
coming.
carry a rabbit's foot.
A young
The only unusual
Frigate
thing that happened was that we moved from one apartment to another.
One by one, all the pupils reported
What are they
on
cutting
had
out
happened
of
to them
this?
during the week. And they finally agreed that carrying a rabbit's foot doesn't really affect the daily events of their lives. So their experiment proved the first statement to be just a superstition.
Wrong.
But it was used as the main plot point of Wonder Woman
Marion, would you like to
1984.
give the report for your group now?
Well,
Fuck
we
no.
studied the
No, I mean,
United
okay.
States weather reports for the last 10 years for our state. Then we organized our material.
And this is a good job of research.
So I'll
Every
mansplain it.
Groundhog Day, or February 2nd, the weather was listed. If it was fair, the groundhog would have seen his shadow. And if it was cloudy, he couldn't have seen his shadow.
What are
But
they
shadow
cutting
or
out of
not,
this film?
The temperature never varied more than 2 degrees from normal. The groundhog had nothing to do with spring weather.
But he did make someone live his life over and over again the same
When
day.
we seek to answer our questions by observation and research and experimentation, as we have
And
been
guessing.
doing, we are using the scientific method.
No, she'd never last in a Betsy DeVos school.
Science!
The scientific method is our most valuable weapon in the search for truth.
God is bullshit. Class dismissed.
Modern man uses the scientific method
that
and
a brew
research
pub in a high
to help
school?
him base his opinions on facts.
I'm for it.
For everything he can observe, he tries to discover the natural
Rock climbing, pandering.
in the search for I never saw before. In learning the truth out of rabbit's foot as a good luck charm, we use the scientific method. And right on down the list, the use of the scientific method gave us the truth. Now, why not use what we have learned to discover the truth about the last 3 states?
Sure.
Does a pint of milk weigh more than a pint of cream?
I'll never know. I'm
Try it at
lactose
home for
intolerant.
yourself. Here's another. Will hot water freeze quicker than cold water? Try it yourself.
There's no internet, so you have plenty of time.
Don't be satisfied with
water
just anybody's
lasagna.
guess. Does water really expand when it freezes? Try this experiment yourself. It's
This
simple.
is the equivalent of read
Do you
more
believe
online
this
about
is the
it.
right answer? Well, it was Alan with his rabbit's foot who started us off on the search for facts.
So he was
And
expelled.
out of it, he learned the scientific method. And so did we.
We did?
How many believe this is the world we live in?
Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
What are they cutting out of this film? What are they censoring?
This film, you know, it meant well, and yet I made fun of it. What does that say about me? Oh, this won't be misogynistic. Don't worry.
Well, okay. So, do we need to see the rest in the series?
Sexist. Time to be sexist right now. Sexist, sexist, sexist. Oh, damn, this washing machine is way too small. Welcome back to Captain Mansplain.
You use this control, get your focus.
Oh, you broke it.
Right-hand corner to lock the suite.
Sweet.
There we are. Now let's try it again.
Well, there's someone here to see you.
Are you Mr.
What?
Bradshaw?
Where?
Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Donnelly up in personnel said for me to give you this card.
Go get
I'm
bent.
your new
What?
Bearings inspector.
Oh.
Whatever the hell that is.
Oh, well, now, I'll be with you in just a minute. No, one at a time. Well, I'll be back later to go over this with you, Betty. Just in the meantime, do the best you can. Would you follow me,
Are you
please?
still here?
Sure.
Just have a seat here.
If you know how
I'll
to
be back
sit.
shortly.
Karen wants to speak to the personnel manager.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, what's on your mind?
Bearings inspector.
Whatever the hell that is.
Just look at that record.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I asked for a man.
It's penis or perish.
We don't have a man with her qualifications. Seriously, Brad.
Yeah.
If you treat her right, she might make you a
Is that guy
darn
on
good
Bob's
employee.
Burgers?
What do you mean, treat her right?
Get that chip off your shoulder. What's wrong with her?
She's a woman, isn't she?
Now, wait a minute. You got a lot of women in your department. What's wrong with one more?
Did you ever hear of the straw that broke the camel's back?
They're good workers, accurate, quick to catch mistakes.
And we don't have to pay him much.
Yeah, but that comes out of books. I work with them, mister. I know what happens.
What does happen?
Well, it's a long story.
Come on now, tell me. What does happen? Maybe I've been misinformed.
Not so long ago, you sent me a girl by the name of Myrtle Malloy. Remember?
Moaning Myrtle from Harry
As
Potter?
per her qualifications, I
She
found
had
her
lady
good
parts.
inspection
You!
Well, in a matter
You
of
got cooties
days,
over
that
everything.
bench looked more like her dressing table. And then came the day.
Hey,
when-
thanks for dressing up.
Joe, will you take your stuff back to table 9? That'll be your bench for the time being.
Okay, Chief.
Yeah, that's fucking
Myrtle, we're moving you to table number 10.
Is something wrong, Mr. Bradshaw?
No, nothing's wrong. We just need this space for something else.
Well, I sure hate to give it up. It's been a nice place to work. The light's good here, and it's nicely situated right in the middle of things. I just begun to feel at home.
Well, I'm sorry, Myrtle, but table 10 will have to be your work area for the time being.
You mean there's liable to be another change?
There's always that possibility.
Oh, the patriarchy sucks.
Certainly hope I'm not moved every other day.
With man, no trouble at all. Tell him what you want and he does it. But with Myrtle, a little move is a big production.
Okay.
There's no balls
Wait a
to
minute.
kick.
You asked me, now let me tell you. Now here's another problem.
I'm an incel.
Why is he wearing his bathrobe at work?
Oh, Mr. Bradshaw, I wanted to tell you that the date is set for my marriage. I'll be leaving soon.
Marriage?
What is
Just got engaged.
Well, I told you about it 6 months ago. We were only waiting till we could find a place to live.
6 months ago? Oh, brother. Well, how soon are you leaving?
Well, the end of next week.
Well, that'll really put us in a bind around here. It takes time to break in a relief, girl.
Yes, I know it does. I wonder.
Why didn't you say something? I didn't realize you were getting married right away.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Bradshaw, but I really thought you knew. We've all been talking about it.
Can't you just live a life of quiet desperation like me?
How many blushing brides do you have? Besides, What's all this got to do with Dolly, the new girl? She's already married. And she's a qualified bearings inspector.
Whatever the hell that is.
When this new girl came in a few minutes ago?
No.
I was trying to cope with one of the biggest problems of all, Walt. Now, in your books, it comes under the general heading of absenteeism among women employees. Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half teaching one of our girls what she needed to know in order to start on the oscilloscope today. This morning, she isn't here, so I had to use somebody else. I don't think the girl we got on it now ever pick it up, so I'll probably have to find somebody else.
Question.
What's your fucking
All these
problem?
things you've been talking about. Marriage, absenteeism, personality problems. Aren't they really just a part of life?
Part of a woman's life, maybe. But I can remember the good old days when there were all
I bet this is the guy that was throwing blasting caps all over the neighborhood.
You didn't have the production output you've got now either. Look, Brad.
It's interesting to see Mike Pence in his early years.
Who happens to be a woman. You need someone, and there isn't a man available. It seems to me that whether the gal adds up to trouble or not is pretty much up to you.
Put it on me, huh?
Well, you've been cleared to emasculate me. Go ahead.
You still here?
Why isn't this guy booking comedy clubs?
He will. Give him time.
Come on, people. It's about integrity and gamer journalism.
All right. You guys did it.
Oh, we made it.
Great job,
We made it through.
Hang on, I gotta find my
still
screen.
around?
Sorry, my screen went away.
I was taking some notes of some of my favorite riffs of yours, and I got to say, Frank, your "While I'm in here, I might as well pinch out a number 2" has been making me laugh since I first heard you
know
say
what?
it on Friday.
Chris, I always knew you loved sophisticated intellectual comedy, and I knew that would appeal to you.
I'm very, 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 very highbrow.
I can't come in because the host has stopped my video.
Ooh, try now.
There we go.
There you are.
So in that case, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead without me.
Great job, Trace. That was a really fun one.
That was fun. Still out of sync, gotta say.
Yeah, I know the video's still out of sync. We're still working on we're still ironing out the kinks of this show. If anyone has suggestions on a good way to do these where we could still live stream them to YouTube so that they're accessible for everyone, but we don't have to use Zoom, which is what we do these shows on, please email me and we'll look into it. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
There's quite a variety there.
Have you seen any of these shorts? Like, someone actually asked this.
I've seen the last
chat.
one for some reason. I think we looked at it a couple of years ago to do on the road, and we said, that one's not very good.
Right.
But it's got that weird sensibility that it's kind of borderline.
Yeah.
And I've seen that actor in other stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any, like, were you ever shown these as a kid as like an educational
Not these
film?
in particular. I was looking for the blasting cap PSA that I remember from television when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this one instead. There's a lot of blasting cap videos where they always put it on the kid to not play with them. It's ridiculous.
Instead of just people like discarding them like they're,
yeah.
you know, like a bum wrapper.
Yeah, there used to be other stuff around the railroad tracks that we would find as kids that we weren't supposed to play with, and I would keep them in the garage. And I don't know how I made it to 62. I should be dead.
Same here. Yeah. I mean, I remember playing with some fireworks as a kid when I definitely should not have been doing that. So I imagine it was
collect railroad flares from the switching yard and tie them to kite tails.
Oh my God.
Terrible stuff. Of course, I saved them all in the garage next to the lawnmower gasoline.
I didn't live in the, I think living in New York in an apartment was safer because, from that film that we did in the last short show, which was about all of the stuff in the garage, all of the chemicals and stuff.
Poisons.
I think people who live in suburban or more rural like houses with all that stuff, it's more dangerous.
And they've been pumping that stuff out for decades. When I cleaned out my parents' house, they had all this stuff that, I should have put it on eBay. It was all like antique, like dangerous chemicals. Oh, there's a kitty.
This is Jupiter here.
Who is that?
This one is Jupiter. She's our little tuxedo kitty.
Nice.
She looks like a lot of other people's cats. We get that a lot. So.
Cats kind of all look the same.
They kind of do, right?
Yeah.
So we have our special guest. Should we bring her?
Yes, please. Let's bring her on.
So, Mary Jo Peel, if you want to turn your
Mary Jo
on, there you are.
Back.
Hi.
Hey, Mary Jo.
Hi. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at me?
No. Hey, where's Seymour? We got to see a cat.
You know what? Seymour is in bed. Seymour goes to bed really early.
Yeah. Oh, God bless him.
No, and he tries to herd me into bed. Like he'll come out and he'll stare at me and then try and lead me back to the bedroom. And he's old now. I would love to go pick him up and present him to you, but he's old and cranky. And
leave him.
Yeah, I don't want to pick him up. Frank knows with Millie.
Same thing with Millie.
Yep. We're
Thank
all
you for
dog
asking.
and cat people.
Yep.
Frank's gone to cry now.
Is he going to get Millie?
Maybe. If you hear screaming and scratching.
Frank comes back severely.
And that's Frank.
He's got an eye patch like Nick Fury when he comes back.
So we have so many great questions in here for everyone. Let's see if I'm going to get it started. This is a good one that everyone can answer. This is from Steve with a Q, who asks, it's interesting, i.e. wonderful, that all of the principals involved in MST3K are still riffing. And so he wants to know what keeps you guys coming back to the riffing format.
Employment.
Yes. Support of, seriously, it's the fact that the Mystery Science Theater fans are still so into it, and they support us if we go out and do shows and stuff. And
it's
stuff
awesome.
like this. It's, it's something I feel very blessed about.
Yeah, you've kept us alive and kept us going. This is
literally.
I'm putting this on you, the kids.
Same. Would you say the same thing, Mary Jo? It's just
it's
what works.
It's the opportunities and the support from people and fans coming out, like when we were doing Cinematic Titanic and all the iterations of it. And the more I do it, the more my skill set shrinks. So thank God I have these opportunities. And having done it so long, it's just it's kind of in my blood. I'm a comedian, and I get to do the comedy of it, and I'm so grateful for that.
I do imagine it's a great exercise just in joke writing. Be given this sort of thing to like riff on, and then it's like a prompt, and then it inspires so much silliness.
Yeah, the movies they provide the setup and provide the punchline. It's a kind of a collaboration.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it makes it easier because it's you're just reacting to the film. We don't have to make it all up.
Right.
We don't have to be 100% entertaining.
That's very helpful to me, believe me.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is a question for you, Mary Jo. Cassandra Miller wants to know about your
back it up.
The Renaissance Fair show that you did a Kickstarter for Renfest.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, nothing. You're so sweet to ask. We just could never get anyone to look at it. It could never get legs. We went to I forget what it was called a year ago, October, and we got to meet with people in Duluth. I forget what I'm sorry. It was
Shysters.
And everyone says they're interested and it's a great premise. We just couldn't get legs. And thank you for asking about it. I have no idea what will happen with it. It's so weird because on Facebook, we get like hundreds of new views every week. And I'm just kind of at a loss with it.
You know, a lot of projects, don't go. You put a lot of work into a pitch, and a cell tape was made and all this stuff. And, it's really luck of the draw and timing and, what else are they developing that fits with what their needs are.
It looks beautiful. I'm really proud of the work we did with it. I still think there's room out there for something like it.
So can people find that, the pilot online, or is that still...
We don't have a pilot. We had like a proof of concept short, kind of. Okay. And I forget where that is. It's been so long since we did it. I forget where it lives.
Somebody will find it. It's on the dark web, I think.
Oh, great. Great.
You know what? It's going to have to be a senior Renaissance Festival by the time we get it made.
Trace, I think about how when we were shooting that, how much I was running around and, we shot. We shot for like 14 hours each day, and now I feel like you're going to have to roll me around on a gurney at the Ren Fest to do it.
The only way we're going to do that is if we do it like they shoot The Mandalorian, where it's inside with an LED surround thing, and we don't have to go anywhere, and we can be wheelbarrowed in.
The last time I was at a Ren Fest was in Minnesota, like 20, 30 years ago, actually. And my major memory of it, and it's a wonderful memory, popovers.
Yes.
They had really delicious popovers.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Scotch eggs. I was a big... And Stonehouse turned me on. Jeff Stonehouse, who was the cinematographer on that, turned me on to the Scotch egg.
Oh, yeah. And then we had those when we were in London, which we
had the good ones.
Yeah.
Haven't had a bowel movement since.
I've had nothing but bowel movement.
I'm so glad I joined for the Q&A.
This was a question on Twitter for everyone involved. At Hogan1978 asks, what are you all doing to keep your spirits up during the pandemic?
Oh, wow.
This
is, believe me, this has been a big part of it, keeping my spirits up.
I have to say the same, yeah.
Yeah. And I've been quarantining, isolating, and also I've been doing a few things different during the pandemic. But the thing that really helps me, I think, and helps my spirit is going for a long walk every day. That's like a big part of. It's my daily routine, and I go out and I either walk to Central Park or I walk through Carl Schurz Park, which is half a block from me. Yes, I'm personal friends with Carl Schurz, and it's that's a big part of it. And then just doing stuff like this, staying creative, writing, and a lot of just watching a lot of Mannix episodes.
What are you doing, Mary Jo?
I'm doing riff tracks with Bridget, and like Frank said, thank goodness for that, as you said too, Frank, being able to do that. And I just have a couple of, projects I'm working on that I just try to keep going back to and try not to despair. And I try to get outside as much as possible, like Frank. That helps a ton.
Yeah. And you said you painted and did some housework stuff?
Well, actually, I didn't. My sisters did. So
But you supervised.
I totally did. I'm too, they make me get out of the way. They do all that stuff. My sister was in the what's this thing? My sister was up there, redoing the
attic?
The insulation. I have one sister who's a contractor, and my other sister does painting and stuff like that. They let me tape over the outlets so paint wouldn't get in them.
Can I ask, are you in a house or an apartment?
I'm in a house now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah, nice.
It's like this big, but it's perfect for Seymour and me, but it's, it's really tiny, but it's all right.
Small is the trend, man,
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
Yeah,
my plan, and Trace knows about this. I intend to buy at one point a tiny house and put it on Trace's property.
No.
Oh my God! Can we all do that? Because I want a tiny house so bad. Yes.
We will
buy
have
tiny
a community. Yeah, a little corral of
Totally.
tiny houses.
We'll create a little cul-de-sac.
I'm going to move to New York.
This is another question for Mary Jo. Gatto Greensleeves asks, which Riff Tracks riff with Bridget are you most proud of?
I think there are quite a few, but I think the series that comes to top of mind are the Farm Family shorts. I think we were really consistent and strong with those. And also Lady Mobster. I think that's a really good one.
Just sounds like a great product. Lady Mobster.
Lady Mobster.
Lady Mobster.
So now you, during the pandemic, you've still been recording new Riff Tracks with Bridget throughout all this?
Yeah.
Great. Someone else, Farview 13 asks, this is for everyone, do you prefer riffing shorts or movies?
I really like the shorts. I just like the variety, and they're can be short or they can be longish, but yeah, and the pomposity of the ones that we do from the era that we pick from, just so much fun.
Yeah, there's a fascination to them because they kind of reflect the era that they were made, and like that first one we did. What was the name of the first one we did?
First lesson.
First lessons, and it's like you look at the credits of that. They're like 15 psychiatrists consulting on it, and you're thinking, well, this is like well-intentioned, but then the message of it was completely muddled. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Right. Too many guys, too many doctorates are working on it.
And it just comes out all weird, and that's the fun thing about them for us to riff them. And all of these movies had that kind of. I thought the Science and Superstition one, I thought that was a very well intentioned short, but
so
the little kid from that little blonde kid, and said, I had the good luck and bad luck. I've seen that kid in other movies. So it's fun to pick out those things too, like the guy in the Trouble with Women. I've seen him in something too.
Is that, I was wondering, that guy isn't Mr. Wilson, is he, from Dennis the Menace?
Maybe one of the Mr. Wilsons.
Yeah, he looked really familiar.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that.
I also feel like with the shorts that you can play a little faster and looser with them, because sometimes they can be so talky that you at least my experience has been jamming in more jokes to try and get stuff in there so you can go off more on them. I guess. Sorry to interrupt you, Frank, but that's.
I wasn't.
There's more. Like in a movie, you've got a lot more open space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And plus the shorts end, so that's a good thing.
Yes. Right.
Someone else asked, and I asked Trace this earlier, did you watch any of these educational shorts when you were a kid, or are these all new to you?
I haven't recognized any of the shorts that I saw in school so far. Even on Mystery Science, I didn't. We just kept getting Our Friend the Sun. Do you remember that? The AT&T.
Yeah. Well, that was I think Frank Capra made that.
Yes.
Frank Capra did a bunch of those science shorts in the 50s that were.
Eddie Arnold is in that.
Shown, that were shown in. But these films are, they're even a little ahead of my time, which will give you an idea of how old they are. Because when I was, the one short I remember from when I was a kid, like in grammar school, was, I don't know if you've ever seen the anti-drug one that's hosted by Sonny Bono.
No, seriously?
And Sonny Bono looks like he's stoned. It might have been a community service thing for him or something. And
wow.
So stuff, that one I remember, but that comes from like a little bit of a later era, I think. And by the way, if anyone out there knows of that short and wants to send us a link to it, that if we could get the rights to it, that would be a fun one to do.
Or any Sonny Bono material.
Yes. the movie Good Times with Cher.
There's one educational short I remember from a kid, and I hope I'm not misremembering this, but it was like a "Don't Talk to Strangers" educational short. But and I could be wrong. Maybe someone in the chat will correct me. I believe it was hosted by Bill Cosby.
Oh, I remember. That's hilarious. I remember Cosby hosting another that. Maybe I saw that one too because I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love if someone in the chat also saw that. Please, I could be making this up in my head, but it sounds very familiar to me.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah, that one doesn't get circulated very much. So, here's
kind of like the Cosby Show.
Yeah, they all got pulled.
How come I don't get residuals anymore?
Here's another this is a fun one for everyone. NanoGator asks, anybody ever make a riff that caused legal silliness? Like, has anyone ever threatened legal action over a joke made on a...
Not an individual riff that I can think of.
I don't think so.
Yes. When we were doing season 1, the Phantom Prince.
That was before my time.
Whatever that was. The robots are coming into the room, these big clunky robots, and we say, "I'm a little teacup." And the guy that owned that song threatened to.
Shut up.
All the time we're doing Stones references and Beatles references. The guy who owns I'm a Little Teacup came after us.
So even just using that snippet made him.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. So did it fall under fair use or anything?
Well, it went away. I mean,
he probably would have lost that suit.
Yeah.
The
but
point
just the fact that the guy came out with that.
He wanted to throw his weight.
Song.
Yeah, his little teacup weight around.
Wasn't there a thing on Mystery Science where when we sang a song, we couldn't do it for more than 10 seconds?
I think it was 5.
5. Yeah.
So,
maybe we just sang Teacup too slowly.
Too many verses from it.
And it's like from the teens. It's like out of this teens, but 100 years ago.
Way to go to the mat for something. That's hilarious.
I hope
watching the show, I'll sue.
I hope the author of I've Been Working on the Railroad doesn't sue us for this show.
I thought about will we get shut down for music rights?
That could happen.
Someone asked this during the one about how to keep a job. So this is for everyone. Have you ever been fired from a job?
Oh, we don't have enough time.
Are you kidding? Oh my God. Have I ever not been fired from a job? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I was the weak link on every job. I was the weak link in the Arby's kitchen. Let me tell you. Although I didn't get fired from that job from Arby's, but I got fired. My first job ever was at McDonald's. I got fired from that. And
what'd you do?
I just sucked. I mean, he was completely
just in general,
completely justified in firing me. I was just really bad. And I was, and any job I ever had. Even like being a bartender or anything like that, like I was just not the greatest at anything I ever did. And I was always, my time was always numbered, any job I used to have.
Were you ever a bearings inspector?
I wasn't. Maybe I would have done. But now that I got in show business, I don't get fired. I just get canceled. That's
right.
how I lose jobs.
MJ, you ever?
Oh, come on. I've been like...
You wrote a book. Now you've got a book about.
Yeah. I tell the tales of being fired from. There was a period in my mid-20s until I got hired at MST. So about 6 years, when I got fired or laid off from 7 jobs in a row.
Wow.
I was just like, I didn't. The job that I was hired to do was not the job I ever wanted to be doing. So I didn't. So I just kind of, hung out, or I didn't get what the training. Anyway.
Did you ever you have a twin sibling?
Fortunately, you found Best Brains, where incompetence was coin of the realm.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, Best Brains was, job watching TV, which my mother told me, Frank, you'll never get a job where you can just stop watching so much TV, and because you're not going to get a job doing that. And then I got a job doing that.
Oh, that is so excellent.
Thankfully.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Here's another one. Stephanie Morrissey asks, and Mary Jo, you can jump in on this too. Do Frank and Trace work on the riffs on their own first and then come together for collaboration, or are all the jokes written in a group setting?
We cooperate.
Yeah. In this case, and when we do our live shows too, Trace and I work on separate scripts, and then we get together and we go through them and rehearse it, and we keep it very loose. It's different from on Mystery Science Theater, where it was very tightly scripted, and there was a lot of, because there was a bigger writing staff, and it was all done together in like one office.
Yeah. Also performing too, when you've got more than two people, you really have to be more choreographed, I think.
Yeah. Like Cinematic Titanic was like that. It was like very meticulously scripted. And we are scripted, but once we start performing it live, or tonight, you probably heard me laugh several times tonight. It was Trace saying something I'd never heard him say before.
That's my goal. That's the only audience that I have is Frank laughing. So if I get a laugh from Frank, and then I go, where'd he go? Maybe that joke sucked.
Hey, you guys, I can't remember how we did Cinematic Titanic. Did we each write the whole movie and then combine the script, or was it the script divided? Oh, it was,
I think we divided it up into sections, and then we put it. But one thing at Cinematic Titanic that just sucked so much, and I was the first one who did this, was the first movie we did, the brain one, maybe.
Oozing Skull.
Oozing Skull. My task was to watch the movie and transcribe it into a screenplay.
That's right.
And then we could have because there was no script you could find on the internet or anywhere for the movie. So I did that, and it was very tedious work, to say the least. And but then after that, Grant, our friend from Throwing Toasters, who was in the Mystery Science Theater reboot, who's a great guy, that was his job after I did that.
Thank God, yeah.
That was a very tedious thing to have to do. And I'm amazed that I did it, because I hate hard work.
That had to be, because we had 5 people, you really had to get your slot, and you could. We didn't do a lot of improv.
When we first toured, we all had gigantic, as Mitt Romney would say, binders full of scripts.
Riffs.
I'm paraphrasing, but then, and this was the first time I ever got an iPad. Was the company bought us all iPads, and we had the scripts on there, which was a big improvement.
I've gone back to handwriting on paper.
Oh, how charming!
Yeah. I find it more freeing, and I don't have an iPad.
Yeah, well, my first drafts of my books are always done on paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love writing on paper.
There's something about it that's just great. And also, I spend so much time fucking around on the internet.
I know.
It gets you away from the computer, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I've heard writers describe it as the everything machine, and it's not helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
Did that answer the question?
I think so. Here's another question from Evil Twin. That's a great name. They say we fans all have MST3K quotes we use daily. Do you guys have any yourselves?
Not MST quotes, but every movie. Like my wife and I communicate in Godfather quotes, and it's like, if she's getting in the car to go someplace, I'll go, leave the cannoli. And she knows what I'm talking about. That means pick up paper towel or whatever. But yeah, we We communicate in movie riffs all the time.
I have friends who we just communicate in Simpsons quotes. So Frank,
Yes.
the dental plan, Lisa needs braces riff was very.
Oh yeah, I love doing that riff because I love The Simpsons and I love that particular episode very much, which is like just nonstop.
It's like the Hallmark. Yeah, it's like the best.
Yeah,
episode,
it's peak Simpsons, and so anytime I can reference The Simpsons, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, sometimes I will, but lately I've been communicating in Project Runway quotes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Make it work.
Yeah, I love that show. But there's two other ones where the guy's name was Joshua McKinley, and he was just an awful human being. He was a contestant, and he would get really mad at people he didn't like. And so in one show, I'm sure I'm going down this rabbit hole about Project Runway. In one show, he got mad at this older designer because he didn't like what the older designer was doing, and he goes, blah 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 blah, Bert, because I will not have it. So now I just say that to the dog all the time. I will not have it.
That's great. So actually, someone else here, Chris Doyle, asked for all of you, what is your guilty pleasure show or movie, something cheesy that you just enjoy watching? Would you say Project Runway fits that category?
Yeah, but I don't know that I believe in guilty pleasures, but yes, I'm addicted to Project Runway. Yes, and now I'm big on Ray Donovan. Like I can't put it down.
Oh, I gave up on Ray Donovan. That's
what?
Weird.
Really? What
watched,
season?
Yeah, like the first season. I watched four episodes, and maybe now hearing you say that though, maybe I'll check it out. I'll go back and check it out again.
Yeah.
Is that one of those where they go, well, check out season 2? Because that's where it really good.
Yeah, I've heard that about The Wire.
Frank, do you have any guilty pleasures?
I'm like Mary Jo. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I just believe in pleasure. But I have very in the pandemic. Well, for one thing, not to brag, but in the pandemic, I watched every Adam 12 episode.
Outstanding.
Lunch every day. Before that, it was Dragnet, which is not a guilty pleasure. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And now I'm watching The Andy Griffith Show, which is one of the greatest sitcoms ever.
Show.
And but one of my weird pandemic things is I'm always up really late at night, which is there's no change in that. And at 2 a.m., no matter what I'm doing, I stop what I'm doing and I watch the theme music of Mannix on MeTV. And sometimes I'll watch the episode, but I always tune in for the theme music and credit sequence because it's so great. And I love the Barnaby Jones theme music too. So sometimes at 4 a.m. I'll hook in on that. And the Canon theme music is good too. And that's on at 3 a.m.
What time do you go to bed?
5 a.m. or something like that.
Really?
And then what time do you awaken?
10, 11. The older I get, it's rarer for me to like sleep past noon, no matter how late I go to bed.
Right.
Like I'll still wake up, and then I'll take a nap late in the afternoon. But then when I was recovering from my heart surgery, I just was lying on my bed, like watching TV night and day. And that was where guilty pleasure came in because I didn't want anything that was taxing on me. I just wanted like stuff that was comforting and easy to ingest, so a lot of like watching like Air Force One and stuff like that.
I've been watching David Lynch Theater on YouTube every day. He either does the weather report from Los Angeles or he picks a number out of a jar of 10 numbered balls, and it's very compelling. Or he's working in his shop, working in his studio. It's hilarious.
I got to check that out.
Yeah,
I'll also throw in a plug for The Expanse, which I love and is on now in its 5th season, I think. And Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I love. And there's a few other shows like that I'm just. And like everyone else in the world, I absolutely loved The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. It was so good.
Terrific. Yep.
I have not watched that yet. I got to check it out. You want to do a couple more questions?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys have time?
Sure.
I'm scheduled to go sit on my couch in a while.
I was just going to say, Frank gets
You have to wrap this up because I'm scheduled to go to that part of my apartment. They're off into space.
I thought I was a night out. I usually stay up till about 3 a.m. I've seen you on Twitter, Frank, at 3 a.m. I'm like, I can't believe he's still up. you outlast me. Farview 13 asks, who in the group has seen Manos the most?
I think it's probably a tie, right, between us. We all saw it.
Yeah.
The amount of times we saw it when we worked in Mystery Science Theater, and I don't know if any of us have been involved in a riff of it since then. I don't think so.
Nope. No, I have not.
I don't even think I've watched the one we did. I mean, we had to watch it many times to write it, but I don't think I've watched it since then. So.
Right.
No, that's a one-time watch.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I've seen that. I've seen the episode a couple times, but Frank, when we were doing Open Rift Night, we used a clip from Manos.
Oh, that's right. So I probably seen it.
I've seen that like
times.
Dozens of times.
When we did Open Rift Night, I saw a lot of shit I didn't want to see. So.
Yeah, Open Rift Night was the show Frank and I did at QED before the pandemic closed everything. It was basically like an open mic for riffing, which I hope one day we'll be able to do that again.
Hope we can do it again one day. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Okay, here's one final question. Someone actually emailed this to me a couple weeks ago because they couldn't tune in live. This is for you, Mary Jo. I lost her name, but she wants to ask about your experience working with Robert Smith on MST3K and how you feel knowing that in his house is a picture of you as Pearl and him as Howard. And she sent me
there is? What? How does she know that?
I don't know.
What?
She sent me a photo of what she has in her house.
What? Oh, in her house, not his house. I thought he had a picture of me in his house.
I think that's what all right, so she wrote, it is a long message. I learned the last part when I met him a few years back, and she had this pic, had it signed by him, and then he mentioned that he has the same picture in his house on the wall. So he does have that picture.
Oh, okay, that's crazy. How did she meet him?
She didn't say. Yeah, this was emailed a couple weeks ago.
No, I'm sorry. Who is he?
He was
guy.
A Viking at one time.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Weird that I wouldn't know. Weird that I wouldn't know a sports
Frank.
I got sports guy.
Yeah, they said that they hope to one day add your signature, Mary Jo, to the photo as well one day. So hopefully when things open back up.
Or they capture you.
Or they capture you.
That's wild.
Yeah. It was when did that so Robert Smith was on an episode of MST3K? That's when the picture was taken?
Yes. Yep.
Great. See if I got one more here. Oh, Sam Scheibner wants to know, have the Mads ever thought about riffing on video game cutscenes?
We've been suggested that before, and it has no appeal to me at all.
And this is not a joke. The last video game I ever played was Pong in the 70s, and it's not even a joke. I mean, I'm so not into video games, and I know so many people who love them, and I wish I loved them like they do, but. So for me, I can't even picture in my head what it would be like to riff something like that, because it's like I'm not saying I would never do it. If you give me money, I'll do it for sure. But
I've seen some of that on YouTube, and it's like, well, they've got that covered. Someone's doing that.
Right.
Our thing is this, and
yep,
it's cool. I've seen actually understand some of the video world, the video gaming world.
Mm-hmm. Great. Those are the best questions I found. Thank you so much for everyone who submitted questions
thanks,
there.
guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Mary Jo, for being here.
We're still tuning.
My pleasure. It was so much fun to see you guys, and I love
Great
the
to
shorts.
see you, Mary Jo.
Super funny.
Yeah. When do we get to see you in person? Like, ever?
I don't know. You feel like sitting outside around a bonfire in my yard?
Yeah, we should do that, when it's warmer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right then.
And we have to do it because I don't like to drive at night, so we have to do it in the daytime. So when it's not dark.
This was really fun, you guys.
Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
And we're going to be doing it again, even though we don't have the actual movie picked out, but we are going to be doing another live stream Tuesday, February 9th. And that's at 8 p.m. and the tickets are on sale now. We're going to announce the movie very shortly. We're just trying to, make sure that we can do it seamlessly, but we figured anyone watching tonight would probably want to get tickets for that right away.
We're very close to picking a title, right?
Yes, very close.
Yes. We just want to make sure technically that it's going to work.
Yeah. And tickets for that are on sale right now. I just put the link in the chat there. I'll throw it in a couple more times. So if you want to get tickets, secure your spot in that before you forget. And then we'll be announcing the movie very soon. And for people who tweeted, Facebooked, Instagrammed with the hashtag The Mads Are Back, I picked some winners here. So on Twitter, Mary Rose Campbell, you just won a ticket to the next live stream in February.
Yay.
Congrats. On Facebook, Nathaniel Johnson, you just won a ticket to the next live stream. And then on Instagram, Mrs. Barton's Classroom, you just won a ticket to the February live stream.
Only one can go.
So if you guys want, if I just said your name, shoot me an email. It's chris@dumb-industries.com and I'll sign you up. Any final words from anyone?
Thanks, everybody. Be safe.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, stay safe. And there's things are let's 2021. You've gotten it off to a good start for us for watching us, and I think maybe there'll be better things happening. So let's keep
from
that
your mouth to God's ear.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right.
Cool.
Good night, everybody.
Okay. Good night.
Thanks, Chris. Bye,
Take
guys.
care.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, MJ. Bye, Frank. I pre
Bye.
Chris. Bye, everybody.